Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nives and today I thought I would take you along on a spring homeschool vlog. This is not quite a day in the life as I filmed this over the course of a few days. To be honest, I'm not sure I'm disciplined enough to do a day in the life and document it all in a single day. It just feels like a daunting task, to be honest. But taking my camera out here and there throughout the week to document some of it and take you along on our homeschooling journey feels just right. This week we're learning about spring flowers and we have immersed ourselves in our topic and have many hands-on activities planned. We are spending so much time outside gardening and planting seeds, playing, learning, harvesting our lilacs and making all kinds of concoctions with them. So I'd like to invite you to join us in on our homeschooling week as I show you how we homeschool our preschool aged children. On this particular morning, my daughter suggested we make some lilac syrup, and I'm glad we started harvesting our lilacs that day because some of them are already getting a little bit dry and sunburned. Our lilac tree was a beautiful surprise and in retrospect now feels like a gift from God. When we first bought our house many years ago, years before we even had kids, it was fall and I wasn't nearly as knowledgeable about trees as I am now. So besides the maple trees, I had no clue what else was in our backyard. And when spring came and those trees blossomed in beautiful light purple hues, it was just the best gift ever. Lilacs remind me so much of my childhood home, the one we had to abruptly leave and never return to when I was 5. Due to the war. The smell of things transports us right back in a moment in time, and so when our lilac trees are in bloom, I feel myself so vividly in the backyard of that old house, even remembering the feelings that I felt as a little girl. It's truly magical, and I'm so thankful for such a beautiful surprise. Picking each individual tiny flower is very meditative, and we did this for a good half hour or more. My 2-year-old joined us for bits of it, and then the rest of the time she was busy trying to fit the basket that's on the table on her head as a helmet or running around in the backyard. Every day my children teach me of the importance of involving them in our daily activities, or as it's often referred to, the opportunity to build life skills. Involving them in cutting up vegetables for our meals or squashing tomatoes for our pasta sauce, prepping our garden for planting, and so much more. I find myself pretty easily overwhelmed by things and messes and rushing through chores, and I used to feel like these are things that I need to do when my kids had their naps or their quiet time, but now this is just part of our learning experience. So much learning happens in these everyday, often messy, and slower paced moments. For one, these moments are teaching me patience. They are teaching me to slow down and truly enjoy this time with my children. My children are learning to tend to their homes and their surroundings. They're learning how to slice open a pepper or what it takes to make a pasta sauce. But beyond all those practical, necessary lessons, they're learning memories. And one day I hope that they too, when they smell the flowery scent of lilacs, remember these childhood spring days with their family. See this? So now we've stirred it gently and now we're going to cover it, reduce the heat.
Try not to spill it on your face or your face. Like the hard.
So I've used up some of our lilacs to make lilac tea and set up a poetry tea time. Today we read through The Tale of Tom Kitten, and then they asked to read some more, so we read through Winnie the Pooh. We've been enjoying reading classics together, and I realized that my daughters are very familiar with the more Disney version of Winnie the Pooh stories. So I got the A.A. Milne original from the library so we could read the actual story, and so far they've been really enjoying it. Poetry tea time is a sweet way to incorporate reading aloud with your children into your homeschool routine. It's not something we do every day, but when we do it, my children have worked up their attention span to sitting down for close to an hour and listening to stories and asking for more. Having tea or another beverage and a sweet treat and lighting candles to make it into this special time of the day really adds to the atmosphere, and I'm a firm believer that atmosphere dictates the attention span capacity of our children, what memories our children will have from their childhood, what kind of habits they will prioritize, and is just behind the offering of a life-giving home. While my children had some quiet time, I went out to harvest some dandelions to make dandelion Play-Doh for the kiddos at our Homeschool Co-op that I was hosting the next day.
All right, hello everyone. It's a beautiful, sunny, warm, but not too warm kind of morning here. And today we are hosting our co-op. So we have about 15 kids with the babies. So 13 kids, 2 babies, soon to be 3. And every week we meet up in my backyard, and we host our nature-inspired co-op. And today I figured I would show you how we do it because it is my turn to host. So each week a mother takes the role of hosting the co-op and doing the circle time activities and doing a nature study essentially of a topic. I come out with a schedule of what we are studying and learning about throughout the year. It's very seasonal based, nature based, except for like a few holidays like Mother's Day or Father's Day. And then we just do our own thing when it's our turn. So today's my turn, and I'm very excited because in the beginning I used to host a lot of them, and then I decided to delegate, and it's been going so well. I feel less overwhelmed, and it's just, yeah. So today we're studying flowers, and I have quite a few things planned. So I'll start here. Here I've made some lilac and rose with rose water, and dandelion with blended dandelions Play-Doh for each child. And then we're also going to be making lilac sugar, so I've filled these little tins with sugar, and then the kids are going to be they're going to be picking these not dandelions lilacs, and then adding them to the jar, and then in a few weeks time they'll have their own lilac sugar. So this I've already washed and dried because obviously we want dry lilacs. Then here we're going to be making some wildflower seed bombs. I have tree seeds falling with some air dry clay, and then here I have some soil, and I've already mixed these flower varieties. I only had one wildflower pack, and then the rest is cosmos which I really hope works. And then I've also made some drinks, some popsicles for the kids with lilac and elderberry syrup extract. Is it elderberry syrup or elderberry? It's not elderberry syrup like the medicinal one, but the elderberry flower syrup. And then for the moms, I decided to do the same. So I had some elderberry syrup left, so I've made that here. And then here I had some lilac syrup that I've made. You can kind of see a purple tint to it actually. and even though my lilacs are pretty pale, so I made had a little bit of elderberry flower syrup and then some lilac syrup for the rest and water to dilute. So at least moms also get a little treat this morning. And then I have some books. So I have Lola Plants a Garden for her circle time. I have Flower Garden, and I also have this book that we can go through if we have a chance. So that's going to be our co-op time, and then the kids will go into the forest and forage for some wildflowers. To the sunlight and shook her yellow head and whispered to her neighbor, "What's your what? Red eye." And the dirt has some seeds, so hopefully we pick up some seeds in our dirt.
My children love painting and making art, and I've been slowly incorporating nature journaling into our homeschooling week. Nature notebooking is a beautiful Charlotte Mason practice, and I will be getting some notebooks for us to officially start that next year. I've seen some people print out a coloring page of the item they're studying and letting the kids color it or paint it, then adding it to the nature journal. So today I decided to do the same thing. I found a printout of lilacs and my girls went to town with it. I think this is a great idea for the younger kids. My oldest daughter still wanted to draw her own lilacs, so she did just that. And then they gathered some forget-me-nots and lilacs to press them. Something that we've been really enjoying doing this spring on our walks around the forest is trying to find flowers and plants that we don't know and to work on identifying them. And I'm not talking about Googling about them, but snapping a photo and then going home and looking at our books to see what the plant may be. I will be getting a field guide in the near future, as I think that would make the process so much easier. Here we are singing the opening song to our morning time. An anchor to our days is our morning basket time, and with the nice weather, we've been taking it outside a lot. Sometimes, like today, we do it in our backyard, but sometimes we do it on a picnic blanket in a park or in the forest. After our morning time, we headed to the park. It is such a windy day and the maple tree seeds are everywhere. As soon as I sweep our patio, a new pile of them topples down, so I'm letting it be until they all fall off the trees. My daughter got inspired and had the idea of making bird houses or bird stands to hang in the trees and put maple tree buds on them. Her idea was to glue sticks together, and my immediate thought was, this is not going to work. Thankfully, I stopped myself from saying it out loud. As adults, we can easily kill our children's spark and put an end to their imagination and creativity with our own knowledge of how the world works. When in reality, we need to go along with our children's projects and ideas and let them discover what works and what doesn't. Let them find solutions. Let them be creative and not always jump in to offer alternatives. And so I let her gather her supplies. She brought glue and scissors and twine, and she wanted to hang them in trees. And she got to work. And when she realized the glue wouldn't hold the sticks together, she switched things up and decided to use twine to tie the sticks together. In the end, we made this little stick swing that she hung on top of a tree. She then gathered maple seeds and opened them up and put a bunch on her little bird stand. In the homeschooling world, there's a big focus on life skills such as learning to cook, to garden, to sew, and other crafts. And it's a great focus to have. But there are so many life skills being learned as part of play itself too. Child-led play teaches our children problem solving. It teaches them to think creatively, and not just to think creatively, but to create and put beauty out into the world. It teaches them a lot of dexterity skills, such as tying knots in this instance. It teaches them to engage with nature and to build a love and appreciation of it, as well as it deepening their knowledge of it. My children love to play with toys, but most of the time I observe that their child-led play is very much nature and creativity based. And I think it has to do with the fact that as we are spending a lot of time outside, the world becomes their playground. They're always gathering something like rocks, sticks, flowers, or leaves, creating something out of it like boats to float on the puddles, or lining them up in their little store or farmer market stands to sell us treats or vegetables. Play is the basis for life skills and character building. Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video until the very end. I wish you a beautiful week and I will see you in my next video.